in the cocoon of the moment. This morning as I walked past the sink, I noticed 8 stark white breadcrumbs on the granite countertop. As my eyes saw the crumbs, my hand cupped itself ever so slightly. I watched as it glided along the countertop, gathering the crumbs in a linear row along the bottom of its palm, and wiped them off the cliff into a napkin being held by my other hand. As I walked into my library and took my seat at the desk, I noticed that time suspended between the time I pulled out the chair and the moment I sat into it. So man actually owns time, after all. The laptop seemed heavy in my left hand as I gently pulled it toward me. The oak that sits outside my window, I'm watching it as I speak these words. There are 2 leaves on its topmost branch that dangle. They are the only 2 leaves that are moving. One of them is about to fall at any moment. There is this tight envelope of time that surrounds me. It is actually a gap in time. Yes, it is more of a gap in time. I can do whatever I like with this time. It is truly incredible, for what it feels like is that I have a 3-second head start on the rest of the world. It truly feels as if the rest of the world is subject to their clock time minus 3 seconds, as if they're on a delay, but I hold these 3 seconds in my hand. I drove earlier this morning through a fog. It rose from the dew on the grassy fields behind the log fences, and I owned that fog. It was made for me, and I felt I could direct it as I wished. The rug upon which my feet currently rest is softer than ever. And dare I say with utmost sincerity, but with no knowledge of if I am wrong or right, I can see your face. It is soft. The constant retreat from the mind does not reveal its riches in linear time. It reveals it when one least expects, in glimpses and bursts. It is not that I will say I currently feel overjoyed, or happy, or excited. If I may capture the sentiment in a nutshell, I will say that it feels complete. It feels like tasting human perfection. And the feeling is absolutely unmistakable that this is man's default state. This is the way in which man was meant to live. I look around for the mind, but it is nowhere to be found. I search for thoughts, and there simply are none. None whatsoever. There are open skies in every direction. There is crystal clarity. Any decision that is made in this state will be the perfect decision. Deliberation is not required. Any person that I speak to while in this state will likely fall into the state themselves. Something within them will detect energy that is of incredibly unique quality. Something within the human will recognize that this is what it was seeking all along. In this state, it becomes experientially certain that man needs not a God, for he is one. The words that I write on this page are being transcribed by self-motivated fingertips, energized by an undercurrent of feeling. And I will conclude with what this experience continually teaches me to be an incontrovertible truth. Man was meant to be perfect after all, and the journey to discover a life lived perfectly is his only true business here on earth. The leaf has fallen.